So one of the things about fear is that from the human collective consciousness level, from all the humans, there's this universal law that states, the law of attraction states, we as a vibrational frequencies, as a consciousness of who we are together, we create our own experience and we create what we see. And so when we think about the level of fear is a very low vibration. It's something that's not a level that is, great, and it's going to only attract more of what you worry and fear about, because what you think of the most and what's your most pressing thoughts in your mind and your emotions behind it, which any negative thought creates an emotion that's negative, that's going to attract more of that. You experience it in your reality. And so when we look at the aspect of fear, one of the things is that you don't want to, the more that people focus on this and get caught in this hysteria and kept getting programmed into this and buying into it, what ends up happening is we start to, as a collective, start to create more of that experience of what we're fearing. So, for example, can we stop and not let the coronavirus be as bad as we think it could be? Yeah, we could. Power of the people, right? It's all about our vibration, our frequencies. And whether you believe it or not, everything in this universe is all based on frequencies and vibration. So it's really critical for us to make sure we maintain and keep our focus on love or fear, right? Now, that being said, why is focusing on fear so much critical? And how does it program the mind, right? I talked about this before in an episode. I did it in one of my podcasts. I talked about in one of the videos that how critical thinking, when you're in a fear state, shuts off and you become a primate, really. You go back into survival basics. You go into whatever solution is going to come. That's how you're going to respond. And so what happens is that when you fear kicks in and you're worried, there's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And what this does is, we call it RAS for short, what it does is it filters out information that you don't deem valuable or important, and only allows in what you see valuable. So this is why it's very critical, and my whole message has been stay away from the fear, or don't try to focus there. Look at things from a different perspective. Try to empower yourself, right? I share concepts of, the universe, no matter what, I can bet all my fabric and essence of who I am, the universe is always working for you. Everything in life happens through you, not to you. So then you have to ask the question, well, hey, you know what? God, universe, if everything's always working to my greatest advantage, and for humanity's greatest advantage, and all of our greatest advantage, what is this here to teach us? What is this here going to give us? What are we going to learn from the dark? What are we going to learn from these challenging times that are going to help us evolve spiritually in all aspects? When you ask those questions, it shifts you away from fear, and now it's just to shift you in a state of empowerment, and you get to dictate what you want that to be. You get to create the story, because you're always writing the story of your life. No matter what's happening in the humanity, no matter what's happening in the world, you are writing your own story. So when you ask those questions, you can shift the gears to allow yourself to be back to creating what your story wants to be. So the RAS, the reticular activating system, only allows you to see what you deem valuable. It only allows you to see what you hold as being absolutely important to you. Now, you've had this happen before, so this is not something new. You've probably, when you bought a new car, you started to notice when you went off onto the street, all of a sudden, you saw many people had the same car you did. Or if you're pregnant as a woman and all of a sudden you're pregnant, you find out you're pregnant, and all of a sudden you start to notice pregnant women more and more. This is how RAS works. And so when we're focusing on fear, and this can be just not just the coronavirus, this is in life, your worries, things that we face. The more you focus there, the RAS is going to try to show you, hey, look, this is what's really going on. You deemed it valuable, so I'm going to make you alert and make you pay attention to what is actually being presented. And that's why you're going to catch and see a lot of stuff when it comes to the coronavirus. You're going to get more caught into the hysteria, the fear, the worry, and all these different things. And so what you want to do is shift those gears and create your story. What's the story that you want to see play out? What's the story that you want to see happen for you and your family? And this is a great lesson, I believe, from humanity's side, is that we're learning that we can let someone dictate our story, which is the media, right? They do a phenomenal job of sharing negativity, fear, hysteria. They really know they're experts in knowing how to fuel that. And you can listen to the noise, or you can calm and get more connected with yourself. And I believe at this time, in this era of where we are in humanity and this whole thing that's going on in the world, it's a great time to connect with you, with yourself, your higher self, your soul, your true self, whatever you want to call it. Because in all reality, that's where the truth lies. That's where you get beyond the noise. Because like right now, what do? We get caught up in the media, right? And we're all stuck in this media and we're trying to listen to what's next, what's this, what's going to happen? Oh my God, what's happening here? What's happening there? Oh my God, there's new cases here. There's more deaths here. There's so much there. And in the essence, we're so distracted and so fueled and pulled that we're forgetting where our infinite truth is. We're forgetting where the truth lies, which is within. And the truth lies within you, and it's just taking time to connect. So here's what I want to challenge you to do. And I've said this before, and if you've been following me for a while, if you've been part of the tribe for a while, you already know where I'm going. Take some deep breaths. Just reset. Turn off the news. Disconnect from social media after this video. And what you want to do is just take a nice couple, 10, 15 deep breaths and just reset. Right? Just take a moment to just disconnect, because wherever you are, if you're on the fence of fear, not on the fence of fear, being bought into the programming, being not XYZ, what's going to be critical here is going to be, the energy around you is going to affect you. And so it's up to you to be as critically strong and balanced as you possibly can to connect to that intuition. Because the intuition is what's going to give you what you need and help guide you in the process of where you are. The intuition is always there no matter what in any dark times, and the intuition will be your guiding light to return and rediscover the greatness of who you are. And so it's that process to take time, slow down a little bit, just have a digital detox, and just take moments to really focus in on you and what's the story that you want to see happen. What's the story of how you want this to play out for your life and for humanity's sake? How do you want to see it come out to be? And start visualizing that. And I think it's together as a tribe, as a community, the more that we focus together on connecting and seeing a higher vibration, stepping into love or empowerment, it's going to be that moment that we can get through this, grasp the lessons, and move forward. Because the way life works, it's real simple, guys. Life will always bring lessons to you. And if you don't grasp the lesson, it only gets harder. Because I always say, if you're not going to change, life's going to make you change. And sometimes I think this is more of a blessing than it is a negativity. Unfortunately, there are lives that being affected by this and all this that's going on in the United States and globally. But sometimes those things have to happen to really give us the beauty and the light of what we're here to learn, what we're here to grasp, and what we're here to expand to. And so take time to reset and then shift your focus from fear to empower. Ask yourself the question, if this is good and this is all supposed to be absolutely amazing and it's always here the universe is always here to help serve, what is this here to teach us? How is this here to help us evolve? How is this going to help us discover more of the greatness of who we are? Start asking those questions and answer them. And that's what I said. You start taking your power back. You start to focus on how you want to write that story. And from together, if we can get enough people to do this, from a vibrational standpoint, from a universal law standpoint, this can't exist anymore. And we'll take the lessons that we need to learn, and we will grow and evolve from this, and not let it go to what some experts say or some people say on the news, 5, 6, 8 months. We can shift all that. So appreciate you taking time to check this out. Any questions you have, please let me know. And as always, I appreciate you guys. I'll be coming back at you Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm also going to be doing a special immune workshop webinar, just talking about the immune system. What is it all about? And just shifting a whole different perspective. I'm going to be sharing that with the Wellness Path, but I'm also going to be sharing it with my mindset group, just to kind of help empower in ways that you can in every step of the way. Anything you need, please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm here to support you guys through these times. Any questions you may have, what it be about? Remember, fear comes in many different forms. So yeah, I made it about the coronavirus, but you can take this to every aspect of your life and utilize it in the ways of how you want to write the script through this. Because there's never, just because what goes on in the world doesn't mean that has to totally massively you be part of that story too, unless you buy into it. Because what you focus on is what you create. And what you focus on is where energy goes. And where energy goes is what you create into your reality. And so that's what gives you the experience. So train that RAS to focus on what you want to create instead of being distracted by the world.